How is it going, guys? I hope you had a nice weekend. It is sure a nice waking up to the market dropping like this, for me at least, because I bought a bunch of puts on Friday, and I just at the open when I saw how far down it is, I shorted another MES, like ES micro contract, just to be positioned properly for this, because I think this is a nice opportunity, short term and longer term as well. So what I'm thinking is that the way we sell off now is like probably just one headline too many at the moment. That we got like a few more cases, especially in the U.S. That's what the market is, like sensitive to. Um, and just in general, it seems that people are starting to realize that this is still building, and it's not like with an incubation period of 2 weeks, this virus is it's not clear how many people are actually infected just yet, because a lot of people who might have it aren't showing any symptoms yet. So I think in the next week or two, we are likely going to see a little bit more about this. And when markets sell off like this, I usually tend to only look at the markets, at the volatility products, and not so much at individual stocks, because as soon as there's volatility in the markets, uh, everything gets correlated, like even more correlated than it's been recently. Like it doesn't make sense for me to trade anything else than the markets, apart from what I already have on. Um, I think what's adding to this is also the weak financials, which like they've shown a bit of weakness last week already, and I think all of that together is just it might not just be the virus, like the fear about the virus, but I also think after this run, people are going to want to take profits. You know, it's just a normal human emotion, and then when we gap down like this, everyone's like, "Oh fuck, I'm already late," or whatever. It's just psychology in a way. So I think this is just a lot of things coming together. Whether this is a long term, like sell off, whether the freaking recession has started now, I don't know. We'll see. Well, it's not about that at the moment. Like all the shorts, I'm still playing short term. So depending how fast this is going to drop, and it starts showing some base, I don't know. Like for me, I think this 320 32, 35 to 32.28 area is probably an area where we are going to see some support if we keep going. It's also like the lower expected move, like in one day, reaching that. Um, and then we will see from there. So I'll probably cover my futures into that level somewhere, if we get there before we open. But in general, everything's going to be short term. I have a bunch of VIX longs that I'm definitely going to take off some of it as well. Um, yeah, just as I always preach, take the profits when you have them, and then reassess. But just to like not leave you with just that, I thought thought I'm going to compile a few thoughts on like if you wanted to play something else, what could that be? And one of them, like the most obvious, of course, is like China stocks. So the FXI itself, you could look at that. Whether you want to short like that, it's up to your interpretation whether you want to short it or whether you want to buy the dip. Whether you think the fear is overstated or whether just looking at like some technical analysis here. Let me pull up like a three-day chart to make it a bit more clear, because that one's quite jumpy. We are at the bottom of a channel here, so just rudimentary kind of drawing this, so that might be a buying opportunity. We are, but then on the other hand, if you think that this has like a more economical impact, and you might want to short it down to the lower celt and then reassess. Um, that might be another thing you could do. There's lots of things, but you could of course also go like into individual stocks like Baba, who is of course like coming off nicely as well after it's let me actually bring up the 5 minute here just so we see where it's at the moment. So it's one nine. Damn, it's low. So depending, depending on like your assessment of that stock, you could also, like take a long think, it's broken out here and this is just like a temporary catalyst. But if you're bullish longer term, you could take like a longer term long here. It would be, a nice entry, especially because I don't think, I mean, there might be a short-sighted view, but how is Baba exactly going to be affected by a virus? Same goes for Baidu. So it's dropping nicely. I know some of you guys have puts, so congrats on that. But it's also just come out of this consolidation after this downtrend. So we will see whether this has just been like a failed breakout in a sense, or whether it's going to get caught again, and it's going to just be a nice buying opportunity. So yeah, that's like up to you guys to assess. Another idea that I've read something about is that the Chinese are using like HIV medication for like a temporary treatment, which is made by AbbVie. So that thing is, of course, or at least has gapped up at first. I guess based on those news, and now I have to delete some of those old lines that I've drawn like ages ago. Now it's come back down. I guess panic is setting in as well. But I think in general, like this could give a nice lift to the biotech sector. In general, especially because we've already had a bit of a sell-off in the biotechs the last few days with XBI, probably also through the virus. But in general, like this might be like it's looking quite nice from a pattern technical point of view. Um, there might be another buying opportunity if you think this is bullish. In general, like I've seen people post, like the chart, and they've marked where all the other, diseases and viruses that we've had over the years, and it doesn't seem to really have a huge impact on the markets. And this one, just by the statistics that I've read, it's not. It's less dangerous than SARS. This might be like an old statistic though, so please correct me if that's the case. But if it's less dangerous than SARS, I could see this panic subside very quickly and just present a buying opportunity. So we will see about that. But there's definitely like an opportunity for short-term short trades. Definitely in there to profit on the downside when as the panic is keeps going. But then I think it's also going to present us with a dip buy opportunity at some point. Lastly, what I've also been thinking, just for myself, it's because my partner is in Singapore at the moment, and she said, like the one thing that we definitely going to have to do is avoid the metro. So being in public, being in crowds, people want to avoid that, which could mean, this is just a theory. I don't know if has any truth to it, but which could mean like a little bit of a boost for companies like Uber. It doesn't look like it right now, but it's also had a huge run, so it might also be profit taking. But just like that's the kind of things that I'm thinking about right now. Like if people want to avoid crowds, they're going to take an Uber or a taxi instead. Same goes for Lyft, which might like the main competitor that you can trade. Just if you think that might have an influence, it doesn't look like it right now, but that's just an idea that I had. And then lastly, of course, um, as it looks like the virus, depending on which conspiracy theory you believe, but it looked like the virus is based or started with like in their food. So what that could mean, it could mean that people are gonna go more towards I don't know, like processed or like industrial made food that's perhaps more safe than street food. And who's making the most processed food ever? One is Beyond, and the other one is goddamn McDonald's. So I mean, I love McDonald's as a company. I don't like their food, but you know, it's just another thought, another theory that I'm having. Like if it's just trying to analyze what the crowds are thinking when they're panicking. And these are just a few things that I've been thinking of. I will not be playing any of that. I will just be playing the markets. I will, if we get over 20 or 25 in the VIX, I'll be shorting the VIX, um, as I always do. And that's it for now. And then when we like see like some recovery in the markets as well, I'll probably switch to long again, even though I enjoy shorting way more. But that's kind of what I will be doing. You know, it's just to me, it's easier to just play the market in environments like this than trying to find, like another stock when everything is correlated to the market anyway. Sorry, guys, I just had to cut real quick because my phone rang. So this is going to be an edit. I hope it's going to be done in time. But basically, that's it. That's my thoughts on the whole thing. Let me know what you think. But for now, that is going to be it. I hope we're gonna keep on dropping until the open, so I can cash in properly. And until then, take care, guys.